Good evening, this is the Oscar expert here with Brother Bro, and it's time to review Anemone, directed by Ronan Day-Lewis. Where have we heard that last name before? That's right, Daniel Day-Lewis's son. They co-wrote the movie together, and Daniel Day-Lewis is starring in this film.
Daniel Day-Lewis's character here has secluded himself in the woods, leaving behind his son and his wife, and his brother goes in search of contacting him because his son kind of needs a father at this moment in his life. A lot of it is Sean Bean, his brother, and Daniel Day-Lewis in a cabin together with some crazy fucking weather, some crazy landscapes just going on outside. Like, for a film that's so contained, often within a cabin and just in the woods, there's a lot of atmosphere and style that Ronan Day-Lewis injects here. Ronan Day-Lewis's background is in painting, and you can see that reflected in some of the landscapes here and the attention to the landscapes. There are some very expressionistic elements with the cinematography, and I was interested in that style, and I think overall it's a very visually strong film. Like, it has a strong visual identity, but I thought the story was really weak, and I was pretty disappointed for a film that I was really looking forward to for seeing Daniel Day-Lewis in it. Now, I'm not disappointed on the performance level, but when I really think about the story here, I am quite disappointed.
Yeah, the movie kind of oscillates between this visual poetry, harsh landscapes and weather, and then crazy long monologues with Daniel Day-Lewis.
Here's my overall take on the story. It was very thin, and they spread it thin along a very long runtime. Like, this thing stretched way too long. It was not well paced. It felt like we're kind of just going over the same territory, and the only avenues in which we're actually getting new information about the characters, or mainly Daniel Day-Lewis's character, is when he goes into like a robust monologue, and it happens like 3 or 4 times in the film. I was kind of just in a dull period in the film, or I was watching Daniel Day-Lewis do a monologue, and there wasn't that much in between. You know, we cut back to his home with his abandoned son. I guess he abandons his son often with the characters he plays. And Samantha Morton's character. Samantha Morton also has some really interesting scenes, but even those scenes felt lackluster. Like, the way the son was just like rolling around in his bed all the time. Like, that's what you're doing? Like, why are you only doing this?
He doesn't know.
It's like the kind of thing in like a 2000s film where like someone's like throwing a ball at the ceiling. Like, he has a phone. Like, why is he just staring?
I didn't know what was going on with him. And they kept saying, like, he needs
it was just it was too general. It's very broad strokes. It's just like a father and a son who needs him, and like fathership and like brotherhood. And it's just those sort of like large concepts, and it attempts to solidify them a little bit. The things that it actually does explore is generational trauma, Catholic trauma, a little bit of like his relationship with his own father and how it reflects in his life now. Like, those things were explored, but the actual relationships in the film and like their progression is very minimal. I mean, him with Sean Bean, Daniel Day-Lewis is just doing actorly monologues, and then Sean Bean is always the listening partner,
standing there,
sitting there, staring. The character was not given enough. That they needed to enhance that character for it to become something.
Yeah, it should have been equal. Like, you're gonna give him 4 monologues, and then Sean Bean's not gonna have like one moment where he's like, "It's my time to give a monologue, you fucker." And then,
I mean, you could see that there's tension between them. Ronan Day-Lewis chose to explore the tension between those two characters through their physicality and through like just blocking, and not really through words. But for such a long film, it definitely needed that. You want them to confront each other a little bit. And there's a really awkward scene where you could say they do confront each other, but it did not make sense.
Yeah, I didn't get why that was happening.
It felt totally freaking random.
Well, this is what I'll say about it. I think a lot of the artistic tendencies just don't translate to the audience in a way where they will find them very interesting. The surreal elements didn't make any sense. The visual poetry, the slow pacing, may come across as just dull to people. If you're going to be a very slow and serious film that has the audience kind of take in the atmosphere, take in the silences, you know, that requires a very confident filmmaker.
Well, I think it also just requires more intense and deeper story.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing, really.
It felt like we were brooding so much for like how little we were given. Like, we're just brooding to brood.
The only things that really got shaped out in the story are just like more reasons why Daniel Day-Lewis is how he is, because it's just meandering on the past.
It's very much about his trauma. Every single monologue is his trauma.
And it's like, yes, okay, here's a different trauma he has, there's a different trauma he has. But
and just like, what is the character except for that? it's just kind of it.
Right. Well, he has Sean Bean right
way.
there that they can like deal with this, but they don't really do much. It's just kind of linger on the past. And the very final note of the film just made me go, oh, like that's a pretty simple movie. Like,
yes.
There's not really that much there.
And then it ends and you're like, yeah, you really didn't have a lot of story there. Like, no wonder you were dragging it on. You didn't even have the important part. Like, it can't even be said that this is really a father-son story, actually. It's really more of a brother story, and then it's not really a brother story, is it? It's just really looking at Daniel Day-Lewis as a broken and tragic man.
I found the supporting characters to be very underwhelming, and Sean Bean and Samantha Morton are good. I think they are giving layered performances, but there's not really much for us to do with them, and they just don't fully come alive by the end of the movie, and I'm left wanting more of both of those characters.
Sean Bean, even though I wanted more, I wanted him to speak more, he was great in the film. I mean, he was an excellent listening partner for Daniel Day-Lewis. I liked seeing him in this serious role. Like, I just wanted more. And then Samantha Morton was fantastic in a couple scenes where she really got to do some heavy work. And then Daniel Day-Lewis, holy shit, he like knocks it out of the park in some scenes where the whole audience is like floored. You're just like, oh my God, this guy is like at the peak of his powers. You know, it's Daniel Day-Lewis. Like, this is who he is.
You know why the first monologue was everybody's favorite?
Yeah, it was the best.
Because it was funny. It's something
that because it was multiple things at once. It was the funny was extremely tense. It was a well written monologue.
Yeah,
but
it was.
I really like the lighting in that scene as well, like the way that the fire characterized him. And again, like the film is really concerned with the elements, and so like that was kind of characterizing the scene in a symbolic way. I think there are some instincts with Ronan Day-Lewis that are very admirable. The expressionism with the environments and the way that they kind of envelop the characters, like I like that. I liked how it set the tone with the environments, but it lingered too much in that space without enough substance. And then some of the more like out there symbolic things that happen like are completely like unreadable.
I thought Ronan Day-Lewis excelled sometimes in some of those silences. Like there was a moment where Daniel Day-Lewis, we track like his lower body as he approaches the door with a clenched fist with a hammer, and then it loosens up when he sees who it is, and like he goes to make tea. Like there were good beats like that.
I liked the score, but I also thought it was way overutilized. The same theme came back too many times that I got tired of it.
Yeah, it's by the Hacks and Cloak, aka Bobby Kurlick. I really like his work, and it works for like this dark and brooding film, but it felt like they kind of had a one-size-fits-all theme going on here that was strong and worked in many moments, but I don't know.
Not in every moment.
Much to say about it.
It was like, let's put the theme back on and do something. And it was good the first time you used it. It's not good like the fourth time. I'd probably give this a 4 out of 10.
This didn't really leave that strong of an impression on me, but I definitely didn't hate it. So I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. Will we see any Oscar nominations here? I mean, I think the only real prospect is Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah.
And this would really be him just getting nominated off of being Daniel Day-Lewis, which I feel like he could do that if the movie was received a little bit better than this. It's just barely fresh on Rotten Tomatoes at the moment. A lot of people are pretty underwhelmed by it. I think the movie had to be a little better for him.
I would not write off that this couldn't get nominated.
But who's going to nominate this? Who's going to nominate it?
Golden Globes, obviously.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, Critics' Choice, maybe. BAFTA probably would.
They probably would, but they're not first.
Isn't that kind of all you need, though? Imagine this is on the Academy screening platform, and Daniel Day-Lewis is on the poster. You're going to watch that.
Yeah, and then you might turn it off midway through.
They're probably not going to turn it off. I don't think SAG would go for this. It's the kind of film that is a little bit of a slog to get through. They didn't even
give him Phantom Thread. Day-Lewis or bust. Don't have him in anymore. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing.
There's someone out there in your family who lives in a log cabin?